Good evening to everybody, and welcome to my live show once again. So, guys, how's everybody doing? Welcome to my live broadcast. Live broadcast. I said live broadcast. Live broadcast. What's up, everybody? How is your day going, guys? Man, today, what did I actually do? What did I do today? Today, I didn't actually do anything. Chantel, good evening to you. Chantel. There was a lady that worked for me. Her name was Chantel. She came from Congo Republic, Republic of Congo. A very nice woman. Yes, she worked for me for many years. Chantal. No, Chantal. I think her name was Chantal from Republic of Congo. Chantal, yes. Are you from Congo? Yes, I had a hairdresser. Her name was Chantal from Republic of Congo, but she lives in Austria. She has grown children now. Yes, Chantal is the name. Chantal, yes. She worked for me many years. She was a very nice lady. She worked many years for me, Chantal. I've not seen her since 2001 or 2. That was the last time I saw her. Chantal, very nice woman. She's a bit fat, but good-hearted. Yes, she did. I mean, she worked for me for close to 2 years. Very nice woman. Good-hearted. I paid her very well. Yeah. I never owed anybody that worked for me. I paid them their money. So, guys, welcome to my evening show. Well, I'm going to keep it real this evening. You know how we do it. You saw the topic for tonight's broadcast. Life is a relay race. Life is a relay race. So I want a lot of people to join us before I start, speaking. I want more people to join us before I start speaking. And if you are on YouTube, help like and share this program in order for more people to join us. Well, Word, I see you. Good evening to you. Good to have you here, Word. I appreciate you for the likes. Well, this evening I'm going to say it the way it is. I'm going to just be honest. You know, I'm just going to say it the way it is. I'm going to keep it real. You understand? So where are my homies at? Where are my people? How many people do we have here? Hope. How do you mean kudos? Hope commented kudos. I don't understand it. Or kudos. How do you mean? Well, guys, share the video, invite more people, let's go. Unless you want us to spend the whole evening here. How is everybody doing? Kudos for me. Thank you, Hope. Hope, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Lizzie Best, good evening to you. Good to see you. Lizzie Best, good to see you. What is the person liking and inviting more people is giving me so many likes. Word, I appreciate you. So, guys on YouTube, like and share, invite more people. I'm going to drop some lines this evening. Are you listening to me? I'm going to drop some lines this evening. That every one of you, it is going to wake a lot of people up. I'm in the mood to talk. Yes, this is the first time I'm going live this evening. So here we go. I have more viewers on YouTube than on TikTok. What's going on? What's going on? More viewers on YouTube than on TikTok. What's going on? So guys, you're welcome to my live broadcast. Well, I'm going to look at parents-children relationship tonight. And now as I speak, I'm not going to read comments so that I can drop my lines this evening. So we are going to look at children-parents relationship. Today, I did not go anywhere. Today, the topic is life is a relay race. Today, I intentionally fasted. I ate nothing. You understand me? From morning till night. From morning, I did not take my breakfast. I did not take my lunch. I just ate a few minutes ago. Listen to me very well. So, then I began to wonder, to think on my own. As a man who is alone at home, nobody cared for me. Nobody called to ask, Daddy, have you eaten anything? Listen to me very well. As I sat at home alone, nobody cared for me what to eat. Nobody asked, Daddy, have you eaten anything? No friend called. Nobody cared after me. Nobody called. No telephone call. Nothing. So that means if I have no money to buy myself food, I will go hungry. Listen to me very well. That means if I have no money to buy myself food, I will go hungry or go begging. Some may say, why don't you go to work? Listen, I'm going to tell you guys stories this evening. Why I came out this evening is to teach a lot of people lesson. Yes, I'm in the mood to talk. There are some people who, because they are comfortable, money is coming their way. They have an accommodation. They have job. You see them say, leave the children alone. You did not born children to milk them. You did not born children to monetize them. Children are not your bank. Some people said it, that children are not your bank. You should leave children alone. That is wrong. Anybody that says that is totally wrong. Yes. Imagine a lot of people. Let's not even, use Europe as a case study. Let's not use the West, Western countries as a case study. Because there are so many other countries in this world where where the governments don't pay attention or don't help the citizens. like in some Asian countries, Asia countries, Africa, Middle East, poorer countries where the government don't care. Now listen, you see married couples like parents who wish to, born children. Start making babies, children. From the first day they gave birth to these children, they began to work hard in order to take care of these children. Even when these parents were sick, they still had to go to work in order to feed the children. They still had to go to work in order to pay the rent. Do you understand me? They still had to tolerate a lot of insults in order to earn money and take care of the children. Now, their hope then is when these children grow, they will take care of their parents at old age. That was the hope. Back then in Africa, let me put it this way. Back then in Africa, or Asian countries, even in Middle East, parents used their children as pension. Because in many poor countries, the government don't pay workers, elderly people. The government don't pay elderly people. So you see, why many people, parents back then, in the olden days, why they bore children was for these children to take care of them in time of need. Because nobody knows how the future is going to be. So now, imagine a situation where a father or a mother got sick along the way, because nothing is guaranteed in life. Maybe while taking care of your children, you got sick. You suffer terminal illness. Or while taking care of your children, along the way, you got an accident. You become physically disabled. And don't forget, in many of these poor countries, the government is not there for you. In many of these countries, the government don't stand anything for you. So the only support these parents are supposed to get will come from the children. Are you reasoning with me now? See, in a country where the government don't cater for the citizens, and you see, in life there are physically disabled persons or people. Yes, there are people who are suffering diabetes. Some are suffering high blood pressure. Some are suffering cancer. And many other illness. Some are suffering rheumatism. They are sick. There is what is called osteoporosis. That is, they have bone problem. There are people who are having, I don't want even to go far. How about people who are mentally sick? There are people who develop mental illness along the line. Why I'm talking this because of people who say you should leave the children alone. Imagine a man or a woman, a father or a mother who sacrificed all his life for the children. And somebody will open the mouth and say, leave the children alone. Now, imagine, because how about, now I told you guys, I was a taxi driver. I met a lot of Europeans who are demented. They are suffering dementia. That is, they forget a lot. They forget who their children are. They forget themselves. They forget everything. And they rely on husband, wife, and children to live. That's the wife or the husband or the children are the ones to take care of these demented people. And somebody will open the mouth and say, listen to me, and say, children, that some people said, if you don't take care of your children, some people said, if you did not take care of your children, did not provide for them, don't expect them to be there for you at old age. What a nonsense speech or talk. What a nonsense speech. Now I know, I know here in Austria, some single women. I know some single women, single mothers, I mean to say. There are single mothers who single-handedly raised their children. Listen, single mothers, they worked, they did any kind of dirty job to make sure they put food on the table for their children. They went through racism. I'm not talking only about black people, women in general. Single mothers who are doing everything to make sure that their children have something to eat. Make sure that their children are like other children. Measure up. So after working for years to make sure that these single mothers gave you or give the children good life, you open your mouth and say, you did not born children to monetize them or to see them as your bancomat. Do you understand what I'm talking about? See, you are supposed to take care of your parents no matter the situation. Be it good or be it bad, you are supposed to stand for them at all times. Now let me take you further to widows so that you learn. How about widows? There are so many, I'm not talking about the Western world like Europe, where widows are supported by the government. Now let me take you back to the Middle East. Poor Middle East countries, poor Asian countries, poor African countries, where they don't get any kind of WIT pension, that is widow's pension. In Africa, if a wife loses the husband, she has to fight to raise the children on her own. And don't forget, not everybody is rich. There are some women that married their husbands. As they were struggling, trying to build life, the husband passed away. And the woman had no good foundation to start life with. She began to struggle to raise these children. Some women did a lot in secret to raise their children. Did so many things, pleaded. Some people pleaded, begged to make sure their children have something to eat. Begged, served people, enslaved themselves to make sure that their children have something to eat. Now, some of these children later on in life forgot these sacrifices. Some of these children were brought to abroad. Along the line, they forgot the sacrifices their parents made for them. And some people will say, did you take care of your children? Did you provide? Whether you provided for them or not, they are supposed to stand for their parents. This is why I titled this program, Life is a Relay Race. See, there are men and women, mothers and fathers. I'm talking about parents now. There are men, as you watch me, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Uncle RODDY. And if you're seeing me or if you're watching me on TikTok, follow this page. You go to Uncle RODDY on YouTube and subscribe to my page. There are some parents who are hardworking, intelligent. They want to build life. Along the line, they met unforeseen circumstances, tragedy. Maybe something happened. Maybe their business collapsed. There are circumstances that can be beyond their control. This is life. Something you don't plan, you never expected that was going to happen, happened. Your business collapsed. Or armed robber, armed robber stole something. Something happened to a father or a mother, and the person is not able. The mother or the father is no longer able to provide for the children. Now, you can imagine a son that is about 20 years, or a daughter that is 18, 20, 21, 30 years, who is supposed to take the relay race, the baton, is called baton. In relay race, it's called baton, to take the baton from the father or mother. Yes, your father will run his best to make sure he provides for you. Your mother will run her best to make sure she train you, provide for you. When they get tired along the way, they may be depressed. They may be depressed, or something may happen along the way, which made them unable to, make money anymore. It is the children that is supposed to pick the baton from the parents and continue the race. If your parents were unable to build house, your dream, your goal should be to build a decent house for your parents. Raising you alone, they have done great for you. They have done big thing for you. Feeding you, bringing you into this world, and taking care of you, they have done great thing for you. They have shown you love. They did their best. Some people did their best, but at times their best wasn't enough. Some people tried, but luck did not smile on them. Yes, so many people tried to achieve greatness, but luck did not smile on them. Bosca, see you. Are you getting me now? So somebody will open his now. Today, guys, as you watch me, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also follow this page. Today I did not eat. I did not eat, and in my kitchen there was nothing to eat. I began to think. Nobody called me. It has been like that. To ask, Daddy, did you eat something? So, if I don't have money to buy food for myself, that means I will die of hunger. If I do not have money to pay for the apartments, for instance, I die of hunger. That is what you want. While I have children, and the same thing applies to you. Now, for those of you, because I know a lot of people that are watching me are living abroad. You are paying your rent because you are physically able to go to work. You can still go to work. Yes, you have that energy, that you have that, that you are fit to go to work. Maybe you are still younger. Listen to me. So when you go to work, you earn salary, and then you pay your rent, buy food, and flex. Imagine a situation where you got sick and you are not able to go to work. And you are not able to pay your rent and buy food, but you have grown children. See, it is the duty of your children to continue from where the parents stopped. Go to work. If whatever the challenges may be, they've got to fight it or endure it in order to take care of the parents. That is why they were born. You did not born children. You did not born children for show, or just you want to bring children into this world. You did not born children for show. There is a purpose why they came into this world. When they say, honor your father and your mother that your days may be long, there was no condition attached to honoring your father and your mother that your days may be long. It says, just honor your father and your mother that your days, so that your days may be long. No condition attached. Nobody said, if they provided for you or cared for you, honor them. But if they did not provide for you, don't honor them. See, picture this scenario now. Picture this scenario. You become sick. We don't pray for that. And unable to pay your rent, but you have grown children. You cannot go to friends. Friends may help you one or two times and abandon you. It is your children that you suffered for, you fed, you showed love, you had sleepless nights for, took them to the park to play with them. These are the children that are supposed to be there. They have no reason, no excuse to give. No child is supposed to give any excuse when it comes to the parents. No child. Because, let me tell you, you live all your life and you will never see God. Yes, you cannot see God physically. You were not created. You were born, and born by humans, born by your parents. So your parents are your physical God. That your father you are seeing is the God you are seeing. Because from the first day, they were there. That your mother you are seeing is your physical God. Don't say, some people came, don't say, they did not provide, they did not care very well. From the first day, the woman gave birth to you, she began to breastfeed you. What do you call that? If she hated you, she would have abandoned you, she wouldn't have cared for you. Your father wouldn't have cared for you. Now that you are grown, you start giving excuses. Yes, they did not start. What? You've got nothing to talk about. You're just being stingy and selfish. You've got nothing to say. Yes, you've got no excuse to give when it comes to your parents. Brothers, you can forget. Sisters, you can forget. But your parents. You don't come online to deceive people. You don't come online to deceive people. If there are, I told you guys, humans are not the same. Different characters, different mentality, different behaviors. There are people, there are people that are naturally stingy. Let me tell you guys a story. There are people that are naturally stingy. They were born like that. They don't like to share anything with anybody. Some people are single today. They are not. Some women are single because they are selfish and stingy. Likewise, some men. Likewise, some men. When I came here in the early 90s, we were caught because we were arrested because we had no documents then, no residence permits. So the police caught us and threw us inside the prison. I spent months, and after I was released. So then I had no money, I had nothing, no place to sleep. I had no money to buy food. We just came newly to this country. So somebody directed us to Caritas at Robert Hemelin Strasse in 15th District. We went to this Caritas. In that Caritas, there are Arabs, ex-Yugoslavia, people from the communists. Then Austria has not entered European Union. So most of these Eastern European countries, when they needed residence permits, so a lot of them came as asylum seekers. So when I went to Caritas back then, there were so many Africans there living in Caritas then. We were so hungry. I came out with one of my homies. So when I came there, a lot of people sympathized with us, so many good people. So we were hungry because they left us that day without food. We were very hungry. So now there were people from my tribe, people from other tribes living in Caritas. So there was one particular man. This story I'm telling you now, because of this, I just want to tell you that there are people who are naturally stingy. So one guy, when we just entered Caritas, we sat on the bed discussing, telling our stories, our experiences inside the prison. One guy cooked soup, and he saw us. He cooked soup, and the guy made fufu, African food. So we were hungry. I begged the guy. He knew I was wearing dirty torn clothes. He saw me looking hungry. So when the guy made fufu, I asked the guy, please, can I join you? Because we are just coming out. The guy said, never, leave my food for me. I've never seen the guy before. That was the first time I saw the guy. And he had enough to share with us. The guy said instantly, he said, no. That was the first time he had seen me in my life. He had seen me in his life. He wasn't sympathetic. He had no sympathy that we came out from prison hungry. You see, the guy denied us that food. Somebody else said, guy, come, let me prepare food for you guys to eat. Somebody else said, 1 second, guys. Somebody else said, now come, let me prepare food for you guys to eat. So we ate from that guy. Now, this is to tell you, there are people who are naturally stingy. They can be stingy towards their father, their mother, towards anybody. Whether you took care of them when they were small, you sacrificed everything for them. They don't appreciate it. I know some women here in abroad that are single. Did you know why they are single? They don't want to share their life or what they have with anybody. The same thing applies to so many men. When I was running a business, one lady kept praying, calling on God to help her get a husband. This lady usually comes to, because I'm a very cheerful man. So this lady usually comes to my shop, to come. Sometimes I'll give her 10 euros to go buy food and eat. So she complained. She said all her junior sisters then were married and they all had children in the 90s. She said all her junior sisters, she was the older one, and she was feeling ashamed of herself because her junior ones are married, and raising children. Now this lady said she will never go back to Africa if she does not get a husband and have her own children. Listen attentively. But then there was one man, very young, handsome man, who she was dating that time. That man wasn't buoyant, making money then, but they had plans of getting married. This woman herself was making money somehow. She had money. So they made plans of getting married. But then the guy now, this was what the lady told me. she said she cannot bring out any money to support the marriage. The guy explained to her, listen, we are going to share our life together. And you know very well that the guy said he wasn't having enough. Why don't you support the marriage? The lady began to count what the guy will bring, what this person will bring. Eventually, she said she does not want to marry again because she doesn't want to contribute. She does not want to contribute anymore. In fact, she ended the relationship because of money. She ended that relationship because of money. And the lady, as at that time, was aged. That is, time was against her. As at that time, that woman would be over 40 years or thereabouts. Talking about, that was around 2000, 99, 2000. She was close to 40 years. Then check how old she would be now. So when I am not able to tell you exactly how she explained it to me. But why that relationship collapsed was because she does not want to share or support the marriage. Eventually, that relationship collapsed. After the woman started calling God, started calling Jehovah, God, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, everything. You see, she used her own hands to spoil her chances. Some of the marriages that worked, you do not know what the women or the men sacrificed. Some women were the ones who sponsored their marriage. Some women single-handedly sponsored that marriage you are envying, but you don't know. Some men single-handedly sponsored the marriage without the woman's support, but you may not know. Or you are seeing it from the outside and say, man, you have it good. But they don't tell you in details. They don't tell you in details what transpired between them. Eventually, the woman was calling God, this, she don't repent. She has repented, this. Eventually, she had to run away from this country. I heard when she ran away from the country, when she relocated to United Kingdom, they began to fight over men there. There was a story about how they fought over men in United Kingdom. You see, this stinginess has, spoiled a lot of things for people. And there are people who are naturally stingy. And such children may come your way. Yes. Such children may come. You may be unlucky to have stingy children who are devoid of love, that have no love. Yes. And let me go further. Our ancestors were very wise. Guys, as you watch me, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me tell you, our ancestors were very wise. But the thing is, these Europeans came and distorted our way of life. I know why I'm telling you this thing. Our ancestors, our way of life in Africa is the best. That's many children, many women, large family. That's the best. I remember back then, look, I will say it the way it is. There were some men back then, as they got older, they married younger wives. And you see some people say, this man is a womanizer. Why did this man marry a younger woman? There is a reason why. Listen, I'm not here for or against polygamy, but I just want to use this to illustrate something for you guys. You see some people say, I see you. Some people say, why did this old man marry a younger woman? This man is a womanizer. Now it is not. There is a reason why men married multiple wives. These are some men that are foresighted. Let me explain it. Let me explain it to you. Now, you remember that, you know that as you grow older, so do your children grow older too. At a time, they all get married and move away. Move out, pack out from where you live. They start their own life. As you get older, listen and reason with me. You see, at the end, the wife and the husband, the couples are the ones that will remain at home alone. The children will only be coming just to visit. They will go to the city to hustle, to look for work. Some traveled abroad. You see the man and the woman home alone. There are some situations where maybe the man dies before the woman or the woman dies before the man. Both of them will not die at the same time. What happens? You see the woman lonely or the man lonely. But if the man had married a younger wife and made more children, you see that the family would be bubbling. You see that as the older ones packed out, the next generation is coming up, so that home will not be lonely. Are you seeing it now? You see, because some people don't think it. You see that man married a younger woman. Before you know it, that younger woman gave birth to 2, 3, 4 children. As the older children of the man, packed out, the younger ones, the younger ones are coming up. You see, in this situation, the man will not be lonely, will not be bored. He will then have somebody to be sending message, go to the supermarket and buy me something. You see somebody that will entertain you, somebody that you can talk to. Even at times, it is also to the advantage of the woman. This is why sometimes you don't need to fight your man. There are some things that may indirectly benefit you as a woman, but because of selfishness, you limited the man's, goals in life. Sometimes those children of those children of your husband may be the ones that will even keep you busy, be there for you at old age as a woman, when the man is no more. You go to many compounds, many families in Africa now, it is lying empty. Nobody is there. You go to many families, many compounds in Africa now, it is empty. All the children are in the city or in abroad, and nobody is in the village. While during my parents' time, the whole compounds were bubbling. During my great-grandparents, there is no time you go to somebody's compound, you will not meet somebody. You go to any compound you go to, you meet someone there. Today, go to many families now, many compounds, you don't meet anybody. Nobody is there. Because you embraced Western civilization, Western way of life. As I'm making this video now, there are so many families that their gates are locked. Somebody said, I want to marry. No, I don't want to marry another wife. You see, I'm just telling you that those our ancestors had a reason why they did a lot of things. Yes, they had reasons why they did so many things. They saw the future. Yes, they saw the future. If I decide not to go to Africa now, if I decide not to move, my wife follows me. If I decide to move my children, I'll move them. I'm just telling you, even you that is talking, imagine your children will grow. I don't know how old your children are. They will grow and get married. You cannot pull them. They've got their life to live. You that is saying that I want, you cannot live your children's life. You cannot be following them up and down or force them. You understand me? They've got to work and earn a living, raise their own family. Now, if you should go to Africa, who is going to stand there for you? You understand me? A lot of us now that have been decades away, eventually you get retired. Yesterday we spoke about getting retired. When you get retired and decide to move, we are making the plans of everybody going to Africa. When you move to Africa, which children are going to be there for you? I'm asking you. When you move back to Africa as an old man, which children are good? Because your children are all in abroad. And you can just pull them away because they have their life to live. You see, that's why I tell you, I said some of those ancestors had a reason why they married multiple wives. Do you understand me? Living in Africa is another ball game, because in Africa, Africa is another ball game. But you that left your homeland for many years, 40 years, 30 years, it's going to be a different ball game for you. It's going to be a different ball game for you. A lot of people are trapped in the system. Many people are trapped in the system. You got it? I have 5 children here. You think I'm going to tie them rope, hold them here, say, look at my homies, they are grown. So I'm talking out of experience. My children, I love them, and I can do everything for them, but I cannot hold them, on their shirts, say, you are not going anywhere. You must 24 hours. Grown men and women, stay with me. You understand me? When I see you, I cannot hold them. I cannot hold them and say, you need to stay with me 24. What are they going to be doing? They've got their life to live. But the thing is, children should remember their parents, remember their fathers, their mothers. Know when duty calls. Sometimes, look, I told you guys many times, I did not build any house in my village. I don't hide it. And I have a reason why I've never built a house in my village. I don't have any house in my village. Don't be surprised. I'm being real. It's not that I don't have the fund then to do it. But let me tell you, every day I think about a lot of things. These my children, they were born here and they grew up here. They are adults now. Adults now, they are. If I should build a house in the village, what if I'm no more? What if I pass on? Who is going to take care of this house in the village? They have never been to my village. They have never been to my village. You see it. And some people may say, why didn't you take them to Africa? Do you know how much it costs? How much it's going to cost to take everybody, to fly everybody to Africa? You know how many we are? 7 people. So how are you going to pay the tickets and money to your family? So now, I'm thinking, children that have not gone to my village, they don't even know anything. They don't know anybody in my village. If I should build a house with swimming pool, a duplex, magnificent house, I stay there, enjoy it. After, when I'm gone, or when my wife is gone, what happens to this house? And you know, in families, you don't get along very well with every member of your family. There are some members of your family that don't wish you well, that you don't get along well with. Then it will be like you labored in vain. And here in abroad, you have nothing. But you invested, you put all your money in Africa. Your children are living in Africa. You built a house in the village that nobody can defend. Do you understand me? I don't want to labor for anybody. I'm being honest. I don't want to labor for anybody. Yes, if I want to help you, I help you. And see, when you are gone, if you're no longer there, your children cannot go to the village to defend. They will not go to the village to defend that house. I know so many men here now in Europe that are crying. Sometimes I see their children, their old schools here. Their children are 40-something years, born here. These men then built powerful houses in their village. When they were working and making money, they put everything in their village, you know, just to gain respect. Now, if you see that man, sir, so many of them are crying now because their children have never even gone there to live. And that house, they cannot sell it. Yes, that money is lying there wasted. And that house, nobody is living in it. I tell you, smart people learn from other people's mistake. You get it? Smart people learn from other people's mistake. And unintelligent people learn from their own mistakes. So many of the houses, magnificent houses, some old schools in abroad built, nobody lives there. But in abroad, they have nothing. They are living in rented house, paying rent every month. You see, does it? And these children, I sometimes every now and then, I do see some of them. They are never ever, some of these children I'm talking about that their parents built these houses, will never go to Africa to live. They already have children here, have their wives. They can never go to Africa to live. So that was what made me. I said, man, do I build house in the village or not now? Well, I decided to wait. I said, let me see how things are going to turn out. There is still time. Let me see how things are going to turn out. So if I go to Africa and the children show interest, some of them show interest of living in Africa, I may decide to put something in my village. But if they don't want to live in Africa, why should I? Who am I building that house for? I'm asking you. Who am I building the house for in the village? Just for people to respect me or to please people or what? Even now, I'm happy I did not build any house in the village, because if I had built house 30 years ago, by this time that house will be outdated, old and kaput. If I had built house in the village 30 years ago, by this time that house will be outdated and it will be lying wasted there. That house will be lying, nobody will be living in it. Even sometimes I'm happy. I ask myself, how many times do I even actually go to Africa? How many times? Ask a lot of people that are living in Europe that built houses in Africa. Don't get me wrong. I did not tell you. That's 1 second. See, I'm not telling you not to invest in Africa. I did not tell you not to invest in Africa. I encourage it every day here on this page. But do you know, I was able to build 1 or 2. Over 15 years, I only slept there 1 time. Built something, over 15 years, I slept there 1 time. You ask some people that built houses, okay, how many times, let's be truthful to ourselves. How many times have you slept in that mansion you built in Africa? But then, The appropriate thing to do is, as you get retired, you arrange something that will serve you. You got it? As you get retired, as you retire, now we spoke about retiring to Africa. As you get retired, and if you decide to live in Africa, you can arrange something that will serve you. This is how Europeans, live. Europeans don't build all these 50 rooms and all these big houses Africans are building. They build what will serve them. Guys, as you watch me, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. This is how we roll here. Men, let me go further. There are people that built houses in Africa, they did not live in it. I know so many people that built houses in Africa. Some were not even buried in it. Some were buried in abroad. Life, I'm not telling you a lie. Many built houses. They did not live, and they were not alive to live in it. So you've got to calculate very well. I'm not in a rush. You understand me? No matter what people say, I'm not moved. I'm calculating. See, I may end up building only 2 rooms, room and parlor. Yes, I may build only room and parlor with toilet and kitchen that will serve me. If you like, laugh. That one will serve me. Yes, so I may build 1 room and parlor, toilet and kitchen that will serve me. Where to sleep, where to run my things. I don't have time of building that kind of 50 rooms, 30 rooms for who? When my children are not living in Africa. To be honest, that's where to sleep, eat, and rub my teeth. Finish, no stress. If you like, some people spent 15 years, they are still building a house. They are in abroad. 15 years, they are building duplex. What for? Now, if my children are living in Africa permanently, I may decide to put something magnificent in Africa, but they are not living there. They are not living there. Why should I? So, you need to calculate very well and think it very well. And listen to me. Guys, as you watch me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You need to calculate it very well. Don't do things because other people are doing it. Don't do anything because other people are doing it. Do what will serve you, what will benefit you. I know a fellow taxi driver. This guy drove taxi every time. Even people thought he was gonna die. If you see his swimming pool, if you see the house he built in his village, the way he rushed that house, guess what? That guy, I saw the swimming pool, big. He built this house on 2 plots of land. On 2 plots of land. As he completed that house, the house is lying in his village there. He has not gone home to live in it. And the guy is married to an European woman. He's still here. And that beautiful house is in his village. Nobody lives in it. The gate is locked, closed. He'll be boasting he has a house in the village, but that house is not serving any purpose for him. He's not enjoying it. He's not living in it. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? In the next 10 years now, that house may be outdated. But when I go later, when I go back to Africa later, the house I'm going to put, even if it is 1 room, will be modern, up to date. You got it now. The house I'm going to build in the village will be modern, up to date. So guys, you are not subscribed to my YouTube page. So somebody saying, see, somebody is talking about commercial. See, don't do any business in Africa if you're not there, if you're not living there. If you do, if you try it, you come here and tell me scores. Don't do business in Africa. Only maybe few might be lucky. You can only do business in Africa if you are living there. Somebody is saying CCT. If you like, put CCT. If you put CCT security camera, are you living in the house? I know so many people here. When we came newly, they were laughing at me. They said, hey, you don't want to build house in your village. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. They built their house in the 90s. They are still here. They built their house in the 90s. They were boasting. They are still here. They have not gone back. Some have grandchildren now. And that house they built, they don't live in it. Some went to prison because of the house. That house, they ran the streets, went to prison because of the house. Some spoiled their chances because of the house. House some people built 30-something years ago, they did not live in it. They are not enjoying it. And then they were boasting, I'm building house in Africa. They are not enjoying it. They are not living in it. You got it? What sense does it make? What sense does it make? You see it? It does not make sense. We are here to learn. Even sometimes when I stay on my own, do I regret not building house in my village? Not actually, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I'm not regretting it at all. Because if I had built that house 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody is inside there. My children are here. What purpose is it serving? What purpose is it serving? That's it. So we keep planning and we keep creating awareness. As time goes by, we are going to find a solution. Somebody is saying on comment section, Europe is not home. See, I don't want us to go into that. I don't want us to deliberate that now. You understand me? I don't want us to deliberate. Let me tell you something. Well, there are things I will not say online. Do you understand what I mean? There are things I don't want to say online, you know? But then, you need to use your brain when doing things in life. You've got to use your brain when doing things in life. Guys, you're not following this page. Follow this page and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I cannot labor in vain. Waiting they happen now. I say I'm not going to labor in vain. That's a way of supporting me. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. You got it. See, let's go there now. Let me tell you now the reality. Africa is home quite well. That's what you say. Did you know that there are so many villages in Africa, your homes now, you cannot go there because of kidnappers, armed robbers, juju people. I'm not discouraging them, but if you talk about home, home is where you walk and live and have peace. Home is not where you go, they'll be chasing you with gun up and down. You got it? I'm not discouraging anybody, but if home, some people went home and they were gunned down. Some people went home, they were hiding up and down. Well, depending on where you stay. You got it? I'm not discouraging, but some people that I said, I know Africa is great, super. You will live exciting life in Africa. But don't come here to act as if Europe is bullshit. One thing about Europe is it is boring. Europe is boring, totally boring. And you don't have community like here. This evening, as I was just coming up, I met a neighbor. We met on the, that's inside on the staircase, and we did not greet. Neighbor that lives here. He saw me, we passed. Nobody said hello to each other. Do you understand me? So when you talk about home, 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 go home, this home is the best. If you don't have, see, you need to be very careful. There are some people whose chances in Europe have spoiled. They have no future in Europe anymore because of their way of life. They will discourage you. They will tell you Europe is this, Europe. Don't listen to them. Make sure you live right and you get your documents. There are people, their own don't spoil. They have spoiled their chances and they want other people's chance to spoil. Do you understand what I mean? Even, are you listening to me now? So what they will come and tell you, home, home. If you want to go home, you go on your own. You did not come with anybody. You did not bring anybody to Europe here. You did not come. If you want to go home, if I want to go home, I go on my own. Don't come here and tell people that home, 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 home. While home, some people went there, they were poisoned. Some people went there, somebody here, a follower of this page from Gambia, Ishmael Jallo, built a house in Gambia and they surrounded that house with juju. He came here, he said it. Is that home? He's running away from his house. He's home. I encouraged him. I said, go back. Don't run. You're talking about home as if, see, if anybody chooses to stay in abroad, it's the person's business. You see, somebody. So, go to many places now in Africa. Go there. Criminals will be chasing you up and down with guns. They'll be chasing you, kidnap you, demand for ransom. You say home. Don't come here and confuse people. When you are spirit, when you want to move and decide you want to go, you go to Africa. You mind. Don't come here to tell people, yeah, this home is Africa. How about if I choose to stay here all my life and say I want to endure the boredom? If I want to endure that loneliness, it shouldn't be anybody's business. Everybody has his life to live. We are here only creating awareness. I know so many followers of this page who said they want to spend their entire life in abroad. They don't want to go to Africa anymore. Some people on this page said they don't want to go to Africa anymore. Yes, it is their decision. It is their life. I cannot force them. I know somebody who said when he dies, they should bury him here. He said he does not want to be buried in his native land. Are you going to fight him? Why we create awareness is, see, the reality is, if you retire here, the money is not enough for you to live in abroad and you'll be bored. That is the reality. This is why you see a lot of us come out and create awareness. If you retire here, this place I live, the rent is 1,000 euro a month. 950 euro a month. How much are you earning? How are you going to afford it? T always I see you. You see it now. So Africa is cheaper. But then don't come here to tell us home, 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 as if home is, they say home, home, home. No, it's not like that. So. If you have no money in Africa, you suffer. Majestically manner. Yes, here you have healthcare and safety, but it's boring. This place, nobody has harassed me. Nobody knocks on my door to say you want to come and thief and steal my handy. I don't break my head. I don't break my head about my children being kidnapped or being attacked by armed robbers. Nobody kidnaps anybody here. There is safety. So that one is guaranteed. You say home, home, home. Where do you call home safe? You want to tell me, if I want to call home, this place, Austria is my home. I've spent more than half of my life here. I lived many years of my life. I've lived many years of my life in Austria than in Africa. So where should I come home? You come to think of it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I know Austria. I've lived most of my life here. So I can call this place is even more home than Africa. This place is more home to me than Africa. So don't come here and begin to tell. Some people will be telling, don't listen to people that are saying home, home, home. If you go there and get broke, they will not be there for you. As they are saying home, home, it does not. If you go to Africa now and get stranded, they will not send you 10 euro. Don't listen to them, oh, home, home. Prepare your life. Don't listen to these people that anybody that wants to go home should go on his own. No? You did not come with anybody. Don't force anybody home. You did not come with you came on your own. If you want to go, you go on your own. Do you understand me? Don't listen to anybody. If you have no place to sleep, they will not give you where to sleep. If you have no food, they will not give you food. They will be saying, go home, Africa, Africa. They will not be there for you. As if you go to Africa, they will cater for you. They will not, see, they are not going to give you, who is going to give you monthly salary? As if they are going to place you on salary if you go to Africa. Forget these people that they are just making noise. Yes, people are living free in Europe here. There are people that are living free in Europe here, if you don't know. You got it now. So, guys, as you watch me, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Here we create awareness. Do not allow anybody deceive you. As you are living in Europe here, plan your life very well. Do you understand me? Plan your life very well. So if you want to retire to Africa or retire in Africa, plan it very well. Don't be in a rush. Don't allow anybody pressurize you or deceive you or anything. Do what will serve you. It is your life. Live where you will have peace of mind, where you will be happy. This is what I do. Where you will be happy. Your happiness matters the most. Your happiness, your safety. Where you will live and you are happy. Some people prefer to live in Africa because there they found happiness. Do you understand me? There are people who love Europe. I know one man, he retired and he's staying here. He said he cannot go to Africa because there is no safety there because of insecurity. Don't do things because somebody did it. Do you understand me? Don't follow another person's footstep. Do what serves you. This is me talking. You know, I like looking at both sides of the coin. You got it? See, I'm not advising anybody against going to Africa. I am saying, listen to me, I'm saying, we have individual differences. I am saying, do what serves you. Do what makes you happy. Plan your life very well. You understand me? Plan. Don't do things because other people are. Don't go to Africa because I'm going to Africa. You don't know why I'm going. If I'm highly established in Africa, do you know it? Do you know if I may decide to live in Europe here because of certain reasons? Yes. You don't know. I may choose to live in it. There are people, I know a man. This man said he cannot go to Africa because he was taking dialysis. He had liver transplant. I think liver transplant. And every week they go to change his blood in the hospital. Yes. He goes for dialysis. Every month they go change his blood. So when you see that man, you'll be telling him go to Africa. When in Africa he cannot afford to be changing blood every week. Here he has health insurance. And that has been happening for many years, and the man is alive. I don't know if he's dead now. As at that time, the man was about 73 years. He cannot afford it in Africa. Some people are here because of certain reasons. Do you understand what I mean? Some people who are suffering from terminal illness or some kind of diseases may choose to stay in Europe here because of the medical facilities in Europe here. So don't come online and tell people what to do with their life. Do you understand me? You don't come online and tell people what to do with their life. Somebody may choose to live in Africa or choose to live wherever the person wants to live. We are only creating awareness. What to expect if you choose to live in Europe here, or live in America, or live in Africa, or live in Middle Eastern countries. You understand me? And if you are going to Africa, make sure you have enough fund. Always have money for tickets. Because if you get sick in Africa, the medical facilities in Africa is not like in Europe here. So you must know. See, we are talking about retiring in Africa, later on in life. Now let me tell you. If you relocate to Africa at old age, listen, make sure you have home here in Europe. Don't just, abandon Europe. Make sure you have somewhere in Europe so that anytime you visit, you have a place to stay. If you don't have any address in Europe here, it will be difficult. Listen, so that I'm saying this thing. See, if you cannot say Europe, Africa, and you carry all your belongings and go to Africa and sit down. Either your children, that's why we talk about children. I started this broadcast by talking about children. When you have grown-up children, if you come back, you can stay with them for some time, maybe a month, before you go back to Africa. You need to have plans. Or you have small apartments, maybe 20 quadrat meter, 20 square meter apartments you are paying every month, so that whenever you come back, you have a place to stay. Or you have reliable friends, that whenever you come back, you have a place to stay. Not you are hearing about Africa, you go to Africa. Maybe you need something to do, you have something to do in Europe, you have no place to stay. Or you want to come and take medical treatment, where are you going to stay? Maybe you spent 2-3 days in hospital, and then the rest, where are you going to stay? You see, you need to calculate. Don't mind people that are saying, Africa, Europe, America. You need to calculate it. You need to think ahead of time. Man, if I move, what if I have to come back? You understand me? What hotel? You cannot afford hotel here. You cannot afford hotel for 1 month. How much you carry come? How much do you have? Hotel here is 150 euro, 200 euro, 80 euro, 100 euro every day. How much do you have? Do you understand me? To be paying 150 euro every day, 200 euro every day. Calculate how much it is in Africa. So you need to think very well. Do you understand what I mean? Life is planning. You got it? Some people, see, yes, don't follow people. Now, if I travel to Africa, I want to come back. After 3 years, I can come back. After 20 years, I can come back. Me. After 50 years, I can come back. I know why. And I can always come back anytime if I travel to, if I want to, anytime I want to, because you know what's up. Do you understand me? So, you see, there are people who said, ah, UK is this. They went to United Kingdom, got stranded. They couldn't come back to Vienna again because they have no place to stay. They became stranded in UK. They became stranded. You see it? I'm not talking about passports. I'm talking about accommodation. You cannot say you go to Africa. If you go to Africa and spend 1 year, and maybe 6 months you want to come back here, where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to live? Or maybe you spend 2 years and you have need of Europe, you have something to do here. Think, friends may disappoint you. They tell you, man, I cannot. It's not everybody that will accommodate you. They give you excuses. What do? You need to wake up. This person is asking me, do I have a passport or not? What is your business if I have a passport? Why do you want to know about me? Why are you asking me if I have a passport? What do you want to do if I have a passport or not? Why are you inquisitive? You want to assess me? Do I have? Why are you asking me? I'm dropping lines and you're asking me if I have passports. If I don't have, are you going to give me? You're asking the whole time if I have passport or not. Is it the message now? You want to assess me now? You want to know. That's it. You want to know whether you are bigger than this person or, I mean, who is bigger than each other. This is what you want to assess now. So that if you feel that you are bigger, you open beer and drink, you are doing well. Yes, if you feel that you are doing more better, when you feel you are doing more better than other people, you open beer and drink, you believe you are doing well in life. Yours. So you look my beer, you look these beers, all these gray hairs. You think that do you know how long I've been on this earth? You think so be today meat? So you think you look this in? Do I look like today meat? Do I look like today meat? When you see me at the airport, you will know. You know if I have passports or not, or when I make a move. When I start rising, when I start making move, you know whether I'm stranded or not. So guys, as you watch me, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page at Uncle Roddy. Go to my YouTube page and subscribe to my YouTube page. You are enjoying it. Nobody is follow this page. Follow this page. Let me follow Blow. Somebody's asking me, when did I come here? So follow this. I'm not seeing follow. Let me read Ngozi Obika Obidike. Okay. Okay. Somebody Obidike's family. Okay. So, guys, as you are watching me, don't fail to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You got it. That is the thing. So now, people want to talk. Now, some people made a request. Let me bring the people that made a request. Who was the person that made the request? Zoba Ibrahim, I see you. Brooks, good evening to you. I see you. I see everybody. That Nikita, I will not bring you up. So you are the person that made the request. No, I will not bring you up. You did not. You are not behaving fine. I will not bring you up. No, I'm not. I'm not granting that request. I'm not granting that request. I don't bring everybody up. Fellas, I appreciate you. It's not everybody I bring up to talk. Big Sam, you say I should bring you say I should bring you up. You want to correct me. Big Sam, you say you want to correct. You say you want to correct me. Albert, good evening to you. So, Big Sam, you say you want to correct me. How do you want to correct me? Say it then before I bring you up. Guys, I'm not seeing follow. I'm not seeing follow. I'm dropping likes. I'm not seeing follow. Nobody is subscribing. What's going on? What's going on? Do you understand me? Guys, as you make friends here, be careful. Don't allow anybody to scam you. Don't send money to anybody. Thank you, Safia. I think that's the name, Safia. I appreciate you. As you watch me, make friends, but don't send money to anybody. Oh. Do you understand me? Don't send money. As you make friends, don't send money to people. Don't allow anybody to take what belongs to you. Be careful. Ngozi Obidike, greetings to you. Yes, so Obidike. Hi, Obidike. That's surname, Obidike. Yes, so as you make friends, there are so many people watching on TikTok. I'm telling you, don't send money. Don't transact business with strangers. I'm telling you now. Don't transact business with a stranger and don't send your money to anybody. This is a public forum. Are you hearing me? Yes, so Big Sam said I should bring you up. Not be by force. Big Sam, I'm seeing you for the first time. Is this the first time you're on this page? Miss Mendes, you want me to bring him up? Do you guys want me to bring Big Sam up? Okay. Okay. They said I should bring you up. Let me bring you up. If I see Big Sam. Okay, this is Tony. Okay, Tony. Tony, are you the Big Sam? Tony, what I saw there was... Hello?
No, I am not Big Sam. I am Tony.
Okay, you can talk if you want. You made a request. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, you can talk, please.
I just want to contribute to a few points that you just made here.
Okay.
You were saying that you have your children here.
Okay.
So, and that honestly, you didn't want to build no house in your village.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay.
Because I am asking you, why do you have to build a mansion in your village where you know that you have children and family here to raise for so many years?
Mm-hmm.
Always, we have to remember one thing. To build a house is very easy, but to maintain the house is the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
And especially a house that you are not living in.
Okay.
And then something I have also recognized with our brothers is, you know, if you decide to make family here in Europe, you have to really, in your mind, to know that you are here. Your life is here.
Good.
This is the reality. You cannot put one leg in Nigeria and the other one in Australia. You know, if you do that, you don't have life. That means your children here, whatever you want to offer them, you cannot afford it. You cannot offer it fully, just because your other mind is also in Nigeria. What you want to realize there,
Mm-hmm.
and for who?
Mm-hmm.
It's family is the priority in life.
1 second. Caustic said, why not? Caustic, you can come up and make a request. We bring you up and you tell us. I bring you up and you tell us your mind. My brother Tony, please keep talking. If you have anything to say, you make a request. We bring you up. Then you come and tell us why you said why not. Tony, please continue.
We are all here. If you see a man suffering, it's because of family. You alone or me alone, wherever you live in this life, you can always survive. But why we are suffering is because we have children, we have family to raise up, to give a good life, to give good education, to feed and to clothe and to give shelter. And as far as the family is in Austria or wherever it is, this is your priority, where you should set your priority first. Building a house in Gambia or building a house in Nigeria, when you are living with your family here, if it is not a commercial house, if it is not a business apartments that you are collecting money, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, if you are also building to rent, you also have to make a good calculation. I tell you my country. I do construction here for 28 years. If I want to build a solid house in Gambia, let's call it a solid self-container, as a self-contained with maybe 3 or 4 bedrooms, kitchen and stuff, I would at least need a good 80 to 90,000 Swiss francs, euros. Now,
so construct 80 to 90,000 euros, roughly.
Roughly.
Okay.
Now, you have to make that calculation. If I can only receive 2,500 a year, euros, from that house, now make the calculation. 2,500 euros a year from that house that I built for 80,000 euros. When am I going to get my money back?
It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And by the time you are by 15 years, you need to put half of what you invested in renovation. So it doesn't make sense. You understand? The only thing is, you know, we have different plans in life. Some came here, they were married to white for a certain amount of time, they got divorced, and then they married a woman in Africa, and they start to build family there. That way, it makes sense for me to go and build my house in Gambia if I am not planning to bring my wife here, to leave my family in that house, to live there, that anytime I have time, I could go and visit them, and that they can also have their private life. Coming to that point, I want to give a very, very good advice to my brothers and to my sisters. If you have papers here in Europe, a passport, for example, and you are not anymore married here, but you are married in Africa, and you have your 5-6 kids, but not officially married. You know, we married through the church, we married through the mosque, we married through the whatever married, but it is never official in front of the white man. If you marry in the justice, it is very official that it is registered wherever you are in Europe. Please, I know so many African guys. They have been divorced here since 15, 20 years ago. They are having passports and they are married in Africa, but they never want to legalize it. God knows what reason they have, but this is the biggest loss that you are doing for yourself. If you are not anymore married to a white lady and you have your papers completely and you are married in Africa, please go to Africa and legalize your papers for 2 reasons. You know, tomorrow is not promised in life. Tomorrow is not promised. Death is everywhere. If you have been working here and it happens for whatever reason that you have an accident or you have a heart attack or whatever that might cause your death, your family in Africa, they will only continue to suffer because whatever that you have been working here will turn zero. You understand? It will turn zero because they will not consider that you were married in the mosque or you were married in the church, that they will have to consider your wife there to make certain papers, what we call here, with were rented. I don't know if you understand. If you are working here and it happens accidentally, you die.
I understand. The woman in Africa who you did not marry officially will not get any benefits.
My brother, I have a friend. It's very sad to say this today, but just because, you know, we are talking, so it's good to share some experiences. I have a very good friend. I had a very good friend here who have been working here in a restaurant for almost 20 years. He went to Africa, Gambia, and I was at the same time there also. It was in December. And he fell down. I'm telling you, man, everybody knows him here in Zurich. He fell down just like that. And he had an internal bleeding. And in Africa, because the medications and whatever it is very poor, they couldn't realize it very early. So he was bleeding internally, and finally he died. 20 years working in the same restaurant. I even know the restaurant. I have been there for many times. And then we went to his boss here. We told him that, oh, did you hear what happened with your worker? He said, no. We explained the story to him. He said, oh, he felt it very sorry. And then he said, what can I do now? Well, we said, yeah, we are just informing you. There is not much that you can do. But the first thing that he offered was, because the boy had a wife there, and he had also a child, a small boy. And the boy, the chef, knows about the small boy. So the boy said, the chef said, I will help the boy for the next 1 year for his schooling and everything, I will pay it. And then he said, more than that, I cannot do it. Because he is never officially married here. Otherwise, I would have, you know, gone through papers to see that all what he have been paying here during his working time will not go in vain. They will support the wife and they will support the child until his schooling is finished. You see what I mean, brother?
Very well.
Very well. Yes. If you have the chance, do it. You have nothing to lose.
Okay, let me explain it. So I hope, Tony, please. Yeah, thank you, Tony. Shukwebuka, I see you. Now, did you get Tony's point now? Tony said he had a friend who worked in a restaurant for 20 years. This friend had a wife in Gambia, but he did not marry that wife in Gambia officially. So this guy went to Gambia and died in Gambia. So when he died, the wife did not get any benefit because the husband who was working in Zurich, in Switzerland, did not marry her officially. You see it? This is just like cheating yourself. Because if you die, your children and your wife or your husband will not get the benefits. We call it with pension. If the guy was married to the woman now will be getting money every month, all the days of her life, because the husband died. The government will support her. Sometimes when we create awareness, when you tell people, people don't want to listen. You think you are cheating somebody, but you are cheating yourself. Why not legalize, marry the woman officially, especially in Europe here? This is not Africa. If you lose your husband or your wife, that woman or the man will be getting benefits with pension, or you call it widow pension or whatever. I don't know what we call it, with pension in Dutch. That woman will be getting money. Now, in this case, now the woman in Africa will be suffering. The husband that was supporting her is dead. And the child, after there's nothing, but in Europe here, the law will mandate the government to be paying the woman. You got it. So there are sometimes you see, I don't know why some people make some silly mistakes. You marry a woman in Africa, you did not marry her officially. Just keep her there and making her pregnant, and it is not official. And women too. You are supposed to even force your husband. Don't get into something, don't get into a relationship where you'll be shortchanged. Don't get into a relationship where you will be disadvantaged. Do you understand what I mean? There's no need for that. Don't get into a relationship where you'll be disadvantaged. That's why this platform is good. Try to find out what happens in this situation. Do you understand what I mean? Even why should somebody marry you illegally? That's marry with it must be official so that you can fight for your rights if need be. You understand what I mean? So, have you got it now? So, this issue of marrying a woman, even I cannot born a child in Africa. I cannot keep a child in Africa, born a child, see, and keep my child in Africa suffering. I must make sure my child in Africa and the ones in Europe here, they have the same equal advantage. I cannot see, as an European citizen, you need to, even if the ones here are Europeans, the ones in Africa need to have the same passports. Do you understand what I mean? If the ones in Europe, I cannot disadvantage, whether male or female, you don't need to disadvantage any of your child. You are not supposed to. You are
exactly. And you are a citizen. Sorry, brother. You are a citizen of Austria. Somebody is a citizen of wherever. I don't know about America, but in Germany, in Switzerland, in Austria, if you are a citizen, any child that is born wherever he or she is born is automatically a citizen.
Correct.
Yes. So why do you want to punish your children for no reason?
Apart from that, let me tell you how it's done in Austria here. In Austria, if you are a citizen and a woman becomes pregnant for you, a woman that you did not marry officially becomes pregnant for you, all you need to do is, when that child is born, you go make DNA test, go to the embassy, say you want this child to get Austrian citizenship, finish. Fathership, yes. You just need to go to the embassy. If you are living in Africa, you go declare, give proof that you are the father of the child. The child will get automatic passport. So this issue of making a woman pregnant and hiding the child, you are disadvantaging that child. It's not good. You need to stand up, I cannot disadvantage any of my child. Never. Do you understand what I mean? Because this is my flesh and blood. I cannot give other children, I mean, a better opportunity than another one. Like the one in Africa or the one in... All my children will have equal opportunities in life.
Exactly. And me, I just come here, look, I don't want to change nobody's life. I am not telling you to do it or not to do it. It's just that sometimes we don't know. Sometimes, most of us are not informed. But I am just here to share what I know. So if you are here, you have nothing to lose if you do it. Because it can only benefit you and your family tomorrow. Yes. And about you saying to build a house, all what I can advise the one who is planning one day to go back home is, as far as your family is here, just buy a plot of land and keep it there. Whenever you are going back, you are retired. You have enough money to go and build your fresh house, even if it is going to be 3 rooms, even if it is going to be 4 rooms. Your children are already grown. It's only you and their mother to go and live in that small house. That's it. You don't need to build a house and leave it there for 40 years before you come back home.
You see, it does not make any sense.
It does not make any sense.
It doesn't, no.
It doesn't make sense. Take care of your family here. Give your children good education. Give your children good life. Whatever it is, buy a plot of land and leave it there. Whenever you go back, the land is there. You just have to build it and that's it. With any how big the house is, it doesn't matter because you are already old man, so you just need less. But why I came here is this mistake brothers should avoid it.
Gladys.
If you have
Gladys.
If you have papers.
Good to see you.
If you have papers, you have family, go back home. Marry your wives in the justice officially. Come here and tell them I have a wife. I have 2 or 3 kids. Register them for tomorrow reason. Because if you are not here anymore, it's too late. It's too late. Please don't punish the children. Don't punish your future for no reason. Give them this opportunity. They could need it. Even if they are brought up in Africa, they could need it later for further studies to make life easier for them. You know? So that's all what I wanted to say.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, guys, you've heard, you know, my brother Tony. And, you know, if you just joined us, don't forget to rewatch. You can rewatch this broadcast on my YouTube channel. It is permanently there on my YouTube account or channel at Uncle Roddy. So, any lady, Liziano, you can make a request. I bring you up. Say your mind. Make a request. I bring you up. Say your mind. Teach us what we don't know. That's why we are here. You can make a request. Human fly. This your name is Fine One. I think that's human fly. I see you. So you can make a request. We bring you up. You teach us what we don't know. That's why we are here. So, guys, don't forget to follow this page. We create awareness. And that's how Somalia, I see you. So, well, a lot of people are watching on YouTube. So many people are watching on TikTok too. Yeah, Farmer, greetings greetings to you. Farmer from Nairobi, Kenya. Good to see you. Yeah, so good to see you. So, guys, I want to call it a night. So, since nobody want to come up to talk, so I want to end it here. Well, Sil, I see you. Sil, good evening to you. Long time, Sil. Appreciate everyone. Somalia is in the building. Somalia is in the building. I see you. Everything, Farmer Joel, Farmer Josie, everything is cool. So, guys, where's Big Sam? He said he wants to talk, but he did not make any requests, man. But I've spent 2 hours here talking. So I want to say thank you to every one of you that joined me. So, and thank you to everybody who liked and shared. And those that are watching on YouTube, support me by subscribing to my YouTube page. Kelly G, I see you. Kelly P, I see you. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page or follow me on TikTok. This is how we roll here. This is an educative program. So, human fly, I like that name. Where humans are flying. So, guys, I've delivered my message, and so many people are still online. But man, I need to. Yeah. So please, my Somalian brother, I see you. Williams Kwano. Tony is a matured man, and he's an old school. Tony is an old school. So guys on YouTube, if you want from tomorrow, I mean, I can be bringing you guys up and you can make a request. If you want to say anything, then you can come up and say whatever you want. If you want it on YouTube, I will be giving people the opportunity. Farmer, you can rewatch this program is on YouTube. It's permanently on YouTube. You can later rewatch it from beginning to the end. So from tomorrow, I will be giving those on YouTube opportunity to come up and speak on my program if you want. So that's how we are going to be doing it now. Lizano, the floor is open for you to talk. Big Sam, okay. Big Sam, now you made the request. Let's hear from Big Sam.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, a lot of people are listening to you. So many people are listening to you.
Before I start, let me commend your effort and your program. Is really, really interesting. We are enjoying it. But there are few points I really want to correct, like I said earlier. Well, one, you said you don't need to build or do anything in Africa since you have your family here. You just need to stay here.
Can I tell? I did not say you don't need. I said in the village.
That's in the village, anywhere, but it's Africa. We are just talking about Africa and Europe right now.
Did you hear me? I said I did not build a house in the village. I didn't say in Africa. You can do something in the city. I said I did not build anything in the village. I've not built a house in the village. So I didn't say Africa or anywhere. I didn't say you don't invest in Africa. I said I did not build a house in village because it will not serve me any purpose. You can keep talking.
Okay, I never heard that. Maybe you said that before I joined the live. So what I'm here to say on my own point of view though, if you live in Europe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I think it's better for you to save up, develop Africa, which is the place, your root, where you are coming from. Because no matter how long you live here in Europe, you will never be identified as a European. Even if you have the passport or wherever place you are, be it Australia, be it UK, anywhere you are in Europe, you can never and you will never be identified as a European. So your roots remains your roots. When you get old, say 70 years, 75 years, during your retirement age, you should be thinking as a wise man on how to go back home. The little knowledge you gathered here in Europe, your knowledge here, you take it down to Africa and make an impact. You also said something like your kids. You trying to build house, buy a house here for your kids, try to make a better life for your kids. That is fine. You can also do that. That doesn't stop you from developing Africa, your roots, where you are coming from.
Well, let me tell you.
I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. But to me, that is my own ideology. I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I believe if you remain here in Europe for 20 years, you've been here for like 20, 10, 15 years, and you haven't made any impact in Africa, you are just like, how do I put it? Let me not use any offensive words. You're just like, let me just say, you are just a waste. You're just a waste. You should be impactful in other lives, in other people that have not been able to come to Europe, that have not been able to see life.
Okay, now let me come in now. You see?
Yeah.
You spoke about people living in Europe and not being accepted as Europeans, Africans living in, and that place you are wrong, number one. Number two, you said that we should go to Africa and impact on the lives of the people there. Well, this is first and foremost, there are families African families that have been in Europe for generations. And the world is changing. You cannot say these are not Europeans. You are seeing only color. Do you understand what I mean? You cannot say children that were born here, and there are children, there are generations of Africans in Europe, in abroad. You cannot say they are not Europeans. Let me come. Can I talk?
Can I come?
Allow me to talk finish. So what you are saying is children that have been here for generations are not Europeans. You are seeing only the color. You are not seeing that these are Europeans, which is wrong.
Please, sir, can I ask you some few questions before I proceed? Can I ask you some few
questions?
Okay,
you can ask me.
Okay, I know I can't really ask you how many years you've been here because it seems like a disrespect. But can I ask you, for the years you've been here, I know you've been here for a long time. For the years you've been here in Europe, have you ever in one way or the other experienced racism? Have you ever experienced racism here?
Good question. Racism, now you've asked me. Yes, racism happens everywhere. It happens in Africa, it happens in Nigeria, it happens everywhere.
Don't be straight. Just be straight. I asked the question. I want
it happens everywhere. Listen, racism.
Sir, excuse me, sir. With all due respect, you don't need to digress. Don't digress.
I'm telling you, racism happens everywhere. I cannot answer that question because it doesn't happen at a place.
You're not answering the question. You are digressing. You need to give me a straight answer, yes or no. Then I proceed with my question.
Let me tell you, racism happens everywhere.
Yes. Sir, is it yes or no?
Racism happens everywhere. So it is not only in Europe, it happens everywhere in the world.
Sir,
and that's my answer.
Sir, I know you're older than me, but sometimes we see things in different perspectives. We have different ways of reasoning. That is why you have this platform. Everyone has to share his own knowledge. Then we learn from one another. Since your answer is yes, that you have experienced racism.
I didn't say yes. I did not. Did I tell you that I've experienced racism?
You've never experienced racism.
So did excuse me, did I tell you that I've experienced racism now?
I want you to respond.
Now you asked me a question. You said, yeah, I said, did I tell you yes that I experienced yes? Now what I told you now. Now let me ask you. Where are you from?
Excuse me, sir.
Where are you from?
Yes, before I proceed.
Excuse me, where do you come from?
I'm in Nigeria.
Is there tribalism in Nigeria?
Sir,
I'm asking you, is there tribalism in Nigeria? Sir, excuse me.
And tribalism and racism are two different ways.
Do you love yourselves in Nigeria?
Sir, do you know tribalism?
Excuse me, do you love yourselves in Nigeria?
You are not the same thing. I like when I argue, when I have conversation with people, I like being straightforward.
I'm asking you, do you love yourselves in Nigeria?
No, you are digressing.
You are talking.
Let's go straight. Let's be straight. Talking about racism, talking about tribalism is not the same thing. It's not the same thing, sir. It's two different ways. You can check your dictionary. They are not the same. I'm talking about racism.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you. You are not answering. You are talking about.
I said, sir, have you experienced racism wherever you live here in Europe? If the answer is yes, then you should know that definitely this is not my continent. This is not my country.
Well, I don't have time for this person again. You cannot come here and tell me, ask him if I'm experiencing. You must, first of all, in your country, you know you don't love yourselves. You don't love yourselves enough. Charity should begin at home. You got it? Charity should begin at home. You cannot talk about racism, white racism, but at home, you don't. Even you yourself in Africa, you have no love for one another, and you are talking about Europe. You understand me? In Africa, where you come from, your country, you have no love for you discriminate against each another. You fight each other. You hate each other, and you are talking about white man dissing. You see, you cannot. You first of all remove the mess in your eyes before you talk about another people. You understand me? You come to talk about racism. Well, Mr. Tony, let me bring in these people. He wasn't supposed to be here.
Please, Mr. Rudy. Please, I beg you, allow Mr. Big Sam to come up and let's have a discussion.
Okay, can I
just for
speak,
10
please?
minutes. Please, okay.
Well, I'm not bringing him up again because he's not reasonable. The lady should speak, please.
Okay, all right. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
You're welcome.
From Poland.
You're welcome.
I would like to contribute. Actually, I think there is something we need to know, all of us living overseas and also those at home. The origin of this problem of building a house or not building a house, preparing or not preparing before living overseas, back home, to go home, rather, originated far back many years ago. The people who came here long time ago did not make good preparations for themselves. But I would like to say that the world has evolved now and people have changed. As we are changing, people should also change along with the situation, or the current situation of life that we are living. Before, people will say, oh, when you live abroad, if you want to go and build a house, big house at home, so that when you get old, you go home and have a place to live with your family and be happy. And to be cheaper. They saw it like it's going to be very cheap. But now the experiences that African countries are having now has shown that even home is not easier.
No.
To live.
No.
So everywhere in the whole world is difficult. But it's higher. I like personally, I told some people, all this time you guys are crying at home, things are very difficult here and there. This is just a tip of an iceberg compared to the cost of living that others are paying overseas. Preparing before getting old. At any place a human being lives, be it married or single, the moment you can start working, as in that you have reached the age of working and you start earning income and you have seen the money at end, instead of wasting it, womanizing, drinking, jubilating, doing bad things, or sleeping around, scattering the money as you like, flying everywhere, wasting it, is better to invest. This investment, you can do it where you are living because you know you will need those things. The investment at old age. Where you live and have peace, you have harmony, you can sleep, wake up, and you are happy, that is exactly your home. Irrespective of any other place that you come from, you were born, you have, yes, we have origin. But whereby you, for example, what you were saying, you live more than half of your years overseas. That is your family.
And then my sister, please, children that were born here, there are some families that have been here for generations. He's saying they are not Europeans.
They have never gone home.
And they have not gone home before. You see,
lived overseas for over 20 years, 30 years.
All their life. They have never even, they don't know Africa.
Yeah. So where they were born and they grew up is their home.
That's why I removed the guy. That's why I removed him. Because he's not making sense. Where a child is born, he's a citizen of the country, the documents, birth certificate, everything is there. You are saying he's not European. I don't want to have such people on my platform, such mentality.
The mentality is also right somehow, if I may go towards where he's pointing at. I think what he's trying to say is that the people who were there long time ago did not make good preparation before their old age. Like investing in Africa. Because if you start investing, not just to go and build a mansion in your village or anywhere that to be useless, but using that money to invest by opening companies, employing people, doing businesses, and doing something that will finally take you home, that will make you happy. If you go home, you see your investment, and you can see it fully that these things have been growing over the years that you lived overseas. It will even enable you to be going home often than you would if you are not investing anything at all back home. The mistake our forefathers did was that when they travel overseas, they study, they make money, they don't remember to go home. This going home is very important as well. Honestly, no matter what happened, going home is also important, because if we forever stay in overseas, who will develop our own hometown for us?
Well, how about the government officials? Why are they elected?
Good. Now we say charity begins
Yes.
at home.
Yes.
The government officials were once children, and they were born into family. And when a family is defective,
Ishmael Gallo, I see you.
yes, when the family is not functioning well, whatever comes out of family, no matter the growth it will grow, it will still be dysfunctional.
My sister, please let me come in now. Look, the government, why are they elected? Why were they elected? They were elected to develop the cities, the villages, and improve the living condition of the people. That is why they are there. Nobody should excuse them. You understand me? I cannot carry out, excuse me, 1 second.
No one is excusing them. Let me come in a little bit. You work for over 20 years of your life in Europe, you will retire and you may earn retirement benefits in Europe. For example, did you work in Nigeria? No. Did you work in Gambia? No. Did you work in Ghana? No. Did you add any value? I mean, economic value to those countries?
But the countries, these African countries, added no value to our lives.
Good. You will say this, but don't forget, I said it before. Bad family brings up bad children, and they become bad adults, and they become bad leaders. So you see, the origin of this problem is not on the leaders. It starts from family. It starts from family. The way we started building our family, not instilling the fear of God in them. I mean, not just going to church and be praying and making noise and wasting our time doing prayers and thinking that prayer alone can bring us out of poverty. No. Yeah, people should wake up and realize that the upbringing that we give our kids counts. Even no matter where we are, I have seen so many parents who lived overseas, but their kids are speaking their languages even more than those who are living home. They put in effort to train the kids and even teach them their native languages. They go home, and even if it's once in a year, they recycle the children that are going home. If you have more than two to 4, 5 children, you take 2 to this year and go home. Next holiday, you take another 2. Let them know home. They know home. 1 or 2 out of those your many children may think different from you as they grow up. And they may say, this overseas, I'm not staying in. I want to go to my father's land. I want to go there. Now, if those ones start thinking that way and they want to go home, what have we done and kept in position, in place, that if they come back, they will fall on it? How can they survive if they return home? That is where this establishment of businesses, investment comes in. So, assuming, and again, the lies that our people tell our home people. Some people came abroad, they will be snapping photos, sending home that see the life here is 100% glorious. No, we should be telling everybody the truth. People overseas, they suffer too. They face hardship too. They lose their job at some point in their lives there. It's not so perfect. It's not about snapping photos, sending home, and then people home will be thinking that, wow, it's always glorious. When you get out to Europe or to America, to anywhere, Australia, anywhere in the whole world, Asia, they will pick money on the ground. People suffer to make the money. So this mentality of people thinking that all is well, if maybe this person has gone abroad, he should be sending millions home. It will stop. It will stop. People will not be so greedy. Greed is also a problem. It's also a problem. Lack of trust is a problem too, because even if you wish to have it, to invest at home, you realize that part of your family member, they are not trustworthy. Who do you send
Now,
the money to?
my sister, you've spoken enough. I want to throw some light on what you are saying. You see,
Yes,
you said something about people going to Africa to impact on the lives of African people or to whatever. You see,
right.
there is a lot of people make mistakes, especially African people. You see, there is what is called division of labor. Division
Okay.
of, yes. I cannot, having lived here for a long time, I cannot, I mean, government officials have their own their duties. I cannot carry out the duty of the president, the governor, a senator, House of Representatives, local government chairman. You got it. That is why they vied for that political position. Listen to me. The president, that's why if the president of a country must carry out his official duties, you don't expect me, an individual, to carry out the duty of an elected government official. That's the mistake people do African people do. And this is why Africans don't hold their leaders accountable. You tell me, an individual, I'm not a government official. How am I going to impact? If you talk about individual families, I may understand it. But say some people will tell you, go and build Africa, go and build Africa. What then are the government officials doing, the politicians doing? They are there to build Africa, provide electricity, provide water, build bridges, provide road, pay you social welfare, provide good medical facilities, basic necessities of life. So you see somebody will come online and say, go and build Africa, as if I go there, I have power to change Africa. I cannot change Africa. I'm not the lawmaker. Do you understand me? I'm not the lawmaker. I'm not a senator. And I do not have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have the power to make law. Why are Africans so local when they come online and talk anyhow? I don't understand it. It is even the government that is supports all of us here living in abroad. The government takes care of the citizens. The government takes care of the citizens. Do you understand me? In Europe here, the government takes care of the citizens, not the other way around.
So this is it. Now, the government takes care of the citizen because the citizens are loyal to the government. They obey the rules and regulations of the government. They listen to the laws and they follow the respective law. The government will tell you, don't build wrong houses at this location. People in Africa will not listen, they will go and build there. Don't put Tash house or Tash umbrellas under this bridge and sell orange and all these and make road difficult for people that are driving to pass. That is the same place Africans will go and sell. The government will say, if you eat something, don't throw along the road, keep it in the dust or trash bin. Africans will throw it. Even the one that looks even responsible will eat and throw outside their door, the car windows. Now, this is a moral decadence that has taken place for a very long time. It has origin. It originated from the family. Lack of self-consciousness, lack of fear the fear of God, because this thing is not the European here. Someone, for example, in Poland, even if you take a dog out to take a walk, the dog poop, you must bend down and pick the poop to the trash bin. Poland is very neat because of this thing. You can never see a Pole throw things anyhow on the street. It is not done because they value that thing that the government is giving them. They respect it. Now, African government is bringing in buses to take people to work. So that the small demonstration they are doing, that's where they will go and burn the bus. They burn the train. They put bomb. Are you doing me alone? We are doing ourselves.
This is what is called, my sister, this is called Lisiano. This is called failure of governance. You see, you cannot try it because here the law works. The security system works. If you this thing you're talking, if you misbehave, you'll be punished. That is what is called. I mean, in Africa, the system does not work. The government, they don't do their job. Do you understand what I mean? You cannot, if you destroy anything here, you go in, you go to prison. They will catch you. If you commit crime, they catch you. The problem in Africa is failure of.
Commit crime, they catch you. You pay big fine.
Yes. You understand me? So the thing is, the problem in Africa is not individual. It is failure of governance. The police takes bribe. The soldiers misbehaves. They abuse their power. Everything is disorderly. So this is not because here humans are everywhere. But the law is what is controlling people here. The system. If you mess up, you get punished. No forgiveness. Nobody forgives you if you violate the law. Do you understand me? And everybody has it in mind. Everybody knows that if you violate the law, you go to prison.
It is very important. And the fine they will realize from those punishments, they use it to maintain the medical system, the educational system. They use it to furnish the other facilities. They make beautiful parks. They do. They make good transportation system to be very. In fact, they do maintenance.
Okay, let me ask you. See, this is where we need to be. Whenever we want to talk, we think very well. Why is it that the same Africans that are messing up? Look, so many people you see from Africa that came here are criminals. So many people you see from Middle East that came here are terrorists and criminals from Africa. But when they come to Europe, they mellow down. They obey the law. Let me come.
Okay.
Why? Because of the law and the system. The same people that are misbehaving in Africa, when they come here, they have no chance. Because the system works. Do you understand me? And we should have it in mind. This is a public forum where everybody learns. The same people that misbehaves in Africa. See, when I travel to Africa, for instance, in Europe here, the whole African people will behave themselves. Immediately they reach the airport, they begin to misbehave and show power. Something they cannot try in abroad. They fear the white man, they fear the European police. But immediately they touch down, you see they want to fight, start to quarrel.
This is the thing. They will start pushing.
They start pushing, they start.
Airport, they are boxes. They don't want to stand on the queue.
They don't want to stand on the queue anymore. They start to misbehave.
From the airport, shame. So why is it that when we get out of the country and we travel abroad, everybody learn how to stand on the queue, sit on the queue, take tally, take numbers, stand and wait for their turn, do the right things. Then when we go home, instead of us teaching the people home how to start living good and learn how to do this.
Because you see here, I said it yesterday. I said, you see, the same madam that mistreats the housemaid in Africa will come here and behave herself, will not touch the housemaid. Because she knows if she touches the housemaid, she will go to prison. She will send the housemaid in Europe or in America. She will send the housemaid to school. If she fails to do it, she'll go to prison. But in Africa, they do it. You saw the woman that tore the passport. I mean, the husband passport at the airport. She said, "This is Africa. This is Nigeria." She did not. She said, "This is not Europe." If they believe in Africa, they can do anything. Lawlessness. You see, this is the same mentality. We are talking. You see a child that was born here that has never been to Africa. You say the child is an African person because of the skin color. I don't understand the mentality. You African, you are seeing color. Somebody from Poland, somebody from Bulgaria that was born here will be seen as an European. Somebody from Africa that was born here, an American, South American that was born here that is light skinned, African people will not see it. We don't respect ourselves. We like to pull each other down. Yes, we don't respect ourselves. If it is a white person, say it's a European, and so you both.
That is the problem.
Yes, we don't respect. But if it is a black person, say it's not an European. A child that has never been to Africa before, you are seeing the color and you say it's not an European. You see the mentality, and this is what I don't want to see. I don't like people that are dull-brained here.
That is the problem. So you see, the person that is saying, oh, the child is born abroad and is not a citizen, well, that person doesn't even know what it takes to train a child, even one child in overseas. Taking care of a single child overseas is like taking care of 3 children in Nigeria, for example.
They don't know it.
Someone will now raise a child, raise 2, raise 3, and then you will say that child should lose completely everything. It's not done. And again, so now maybe an American will come and born, or maybe let me say any other country that is white will come and born a child in UK. The child will be a citizen. But because the color is white.
Yeah.
So because person is black,
it's not European. It's not yes. This is a typical African mentality. Very primitive. Very primitive mentality. Do you understand me? What they see is color. They see color because that's why they don't respect themselves here. If they see a black person, yeah. But if they see white, even the smallest white people, they worship and respect white people. When they see a black person, that's when they will show their power.
The same thing that spoiled Africa right from the beginning. They welcome everybody that is white, and they love, they cherish. They will even leave their bed for those people to sleep. But yet, the same thing that you are doing for them, you can't even do to your own family members. You can't even do to your own people of the same blood, talk more of the same color. It's ridiculous. So this lack of love, lack of unity, lack of fairness in every aspect of life.
Well,
this is our problem.
This platform is an educative one. I want people to come here and learn. Do you understand me? The problem is there are so many people who don't know nothing. They come online and they mess up and they mislead people. Many Africans do not know what is being patriotic to a country. They know nothing about patriotism. Do you understand me? They know nothing about patriotism, and they know nothing about being a citizen. Being a citizen of a country they don't know.
Accordingly, they pay their tax correctly. They pay their light bill correctly. They pay their water bill correctly. They pay their gas.
Okay, let me call my sister Liziano. Listen, 1 second.
Yes.
Maybe
they don't do that.
Listen to me. Let me give you one example now. What I spoke about yesterday, before I end this program. I said in Africa, to tell you how black people are. In Africa, they rent a house. First time they rented the house, they will pay a year rent. Now, after the rent expires, you see them begin to owe the landlord. They start going to court with the landlord. They will live in a house for a year, 2 years, they will not pay the landlord. Listen to me. They will be going to court with the landlord. The same African people will come to Europe or America. Every month, they make sure they pay their rent. Listen to me.
You see that?
Let me come. This is why sometimes I say, the same African people that owe rent in Africa, 2 years, the landlord will be begging, they will be threatening the landlord, they will be going to court. Here, every month, the same African man or woman will be paying the rent, doing everything, because you know, if you don't pay the rent under a month, you are outside. If you don't pay your rent for 1 month, you are outside. We don't respect ourselves. I spoke about this yesterday. Yes, I spoke. You in Europe here. Let me come again.
The new month, you don't pay.
If you don't pay the very moment you don't pay.
Second.
Do you understand what I'm talking? In Africa, they will be owing rent, misbehaving. The same people that are misbehaving will come here and become disciplined. They become totally disciplined. You see people in Africa, they will tell you they are cultists. They are cultists, they belong to this, they belong to this. They don't do that cultism to white people. In Europe here, they say they are cultists. They'll be looking for black people to practice their cultism. They don't even need any white person. The people they will be chasing after, they will be looking for fellow black people, fellow African. When they see, if they look and see African people, their power will come out. When they see the smallest white boy or white girl, they don't near them. We don't respect ourselves. That was why I removed that guy from my page. You're talking about Europe, but Africa. In Africa, you say you are from Nigeria, but you hate yourselves. You cannot live together, you fight each other, and you want to talk about racism in Europe here. In Africa, you cannot stand it. All these tribes, they fight each other. You can look at the demonstration they had. No oneness of purpose. They achieved nothing. You hate each other. You come to talk about Europe. Well, guys, I want to end the broadcast. So I've spoken enough. Well,
to run away. Some hatred even pursue people out of their country and town.
Many of the people, there are so many guys here. So many guys here ran away from Africa because of hatred and evil.
Yes.
And they are here. So many people on this page say they are not going to Africa again.
To see if they can live a little bit longer. Many, you see some family, they have almost wiped the whole family. They will kill this one, kill this one. Anybody comes up, they will kill. So
and wanted
to be running to see if they can find place to hide. A lot are just happening there. I think when things like this happen, that people don't understand the situation, I think it's lack of exposure. That's the truth. Lack of exposure. In as much as I will talk for, I will also talk against. There are some things that we are not doing well. Our people, those living abroad, have not really done very well too. And there are things that they have tried to do well. So when maybe the guy did not put it correctly, when he says people should go home and work and do some things. Yes. Not working alone. In as much as you're staying abroad, working overseas, those other people that are staying home and working, you don't expect if you go home after maybe at old age, since you were doing all your contribution working overseas, you cannot meet everything done for you at home, back home. So the only way we can help to make the country to move and increase and then look beautiful is by also investing in opening companies, employing people. It will reduce the number of people even wanting to go overseas. If we have good establishments,
let me tell you, my sister, before we end this broadcast, you know what is failure of governance? Failure of governance. You may go. Let's look at the other side of the coins. People went to Africa to invest, established companies. The CEOs were kidnapped, demanded, and in some cases, they were murdered. So when you are talking about establishing companies, you look at the other, do you have the security on ground? The security, why do you think these Western countries are progressing? Because there is security, maximum security. Your investment is secured. Your life is secured. In Africa, you can go, they see that you came with money, they plan for you. There is no security. The police and the system will not protect you. Do you understand me? You may, even when they know, sometimes people that are working in the bank plan kidnap cases. They know how much you have. They have your address. They plan to come and kidnap you. We are talking about security here. If you have security in a country, you see the country will progress. Do you understand what I mean? If you have, a lot of people will go to, 1 second. A lot of people will go to Africa if there is security. Because people are afraid of their life. They kidnap you. You will not be found again.
Something I told people, see, we don't need much to improve Africa. What all African countries need is just to have stability of the economy. Is number one, security of lives and individual, animal, everything. Number two, there should be steady power supply in all African countries. Number three, since the world has evolved, they should have internet connection.
Let me read out what.
Stay at home and work overseas.
1 second. Let me read out what Aubrey Becker said. If you live abroad for some time, why are you going back to such corrupt country where you live in fear? Somebody wrote on YouTube. Why go back to a country where you live in fear, where your life is not guaranteed? We are looking at the other side of the coin.
Is this okay? So looking at the situation that even is facing overseas. When I say overseas, I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about Europe alone. I'm not talking about America alone. I'm not talking about Australia alone. I'm not talking about Asia. I'm talking in general. Once we leave Africa to other parts of the world, you can see that even those people in other parts of the world are becoming uncomfortable about the rate at which our people from our continent are migrating into their countries. They have started getting uncomfortable. And for us to fix this problem is to make sure the home is well equipped to receive people who are living abroad back home. And also to encourage those who are willing and happy and ready to stay there to progress.
My sister, please, you said you live in Poland. Let me come. This is Europe now. See, when you come to, those of you that everybody, most of us that are living in the West, now let me put it this way. Here in Europe, here, the first thing that is guaranteed is safety, security. You don't hear any case of kidnap, armed robber. Has anybody ever?
In this Poland, you can walk alone as a woman from morning till morning.
Okay, let me come. Yes, let me come. This is what I'm talking.
12 in the night.
Let me come. See,
okay.
Now.
Nobody will attack you.
Now, in Europe here, as a woman, you said you can walk from morning till night, nobody will attack you. In Africa, sometimes they rape you, they rape a woman, and nothing will be done. We're talking about security. Armed robbers will be operating in a bank. Armed robber will be operating in a bank, in somebody's house. Police will not show up. What are you talking about? And somebody is calling that place home. And then, you as an individual, you are helpless. There is nothing you can do. And they are telling you to go and change Africa. How are you going to change Africa? You cannot invest in an unstable economy. You cannot invest where there is no security. When people are targeting you, ordinarily you are driving nice car, built nice house, you become a target. Ordinarily, you have a nice car and you have a nice house, you become a target. Until you fix these things, people will talk about going back to Africa.
That is it. So it's so shameful. It is very, very disheartening to see the way our people are just hating each other. The hatred is too much. The hatred is way too much. In fact, in all African countries, it's not just one part of African country, maybe like say this country is better. Assuming there is even one better African country, my brother, maybe in the rest of Africans will run to that particular one.
You see, Ward lives in Germany. My sister, Ward lives in Germany. He said he wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning And he said he rides bicycle through the forest, track road to his workplace, and nothing happens to him. In Africa, they may kidnap you and use you for ritual. In Africa, they may kidnap him in the morning. I drove taxi for many years in Vienna. I drove, sometimes you see me, go to villages, different villages. I drive, passengers to the villages. Nothing happens. Nobody, no robbery attack, nothing. Any time of the day, that is from sometimes from 12 midnight till 6 a.m. in the morning, nothing. In that, would you be happy to even send your children to Africa and they will not be, if you send them to some certain villages, you will not be, you will live in fear. Either they kidnap them or they rob them or whatever happens. Somebody will come here and be talking what he does. Let the government, it is the duty of the government. Sometimes even the government themselves are on the run. They are running from the criminals.
The truth is that when we talk about living overseas, it doesn't favor everybody, honestly speaking. There are people, I have seen some people who are making it great, even in that scattered economy in Africa. Some people are still making their money, they're working very hard and still making good sum of money. In fact, they don't even suffer half of the suffering that people abroad suffer. So it is just, I think, is do what works for you. If you travel out and it doesn't fit well, go home. You can't die in somebody's country, especially if you go out, you try to get a stable job so that you can have the required document to stay, and they don't give you, and you don't have the job on time, and the document delay. If finally they deny you, pack your things, go home with dignity. Reserve your dignity. Go home. You didn't kill anybody at all. You didn't steal anything. You didn't commit any crime. You are not on exile. Go home with dignity. Especially if you went and studied overseas. If you try harder and it's not working, you go home.
Isimene, I see you.
And God favors you.
The lab show, I see you. I heard you. I'm calm. Okay, I'm not. It's just sad. You know, you see a lot of African people. You see what they cannot try in Europe here, in abroad. They do it in Africa. Like I said before, I said earlier before now. There are times when I move out of Vienna, I've flown I've flown different airlines. When I move out of Vienna, sometimes I fly Lufthansa, KLM, France Air, and British Airways, any airline, Turkish Airways sometimes. You see Africans, because if you move here, you transit somewhere before you fly direct to Africa. You see Africans behave themselves, stay quiet. They don't open their mouths. Respect the system, the law, the Oyibo. They behave, they discipline themselves. Immediately they touch, I've seen it more than many times. Immediately they touch down in Africa. You see them start, they want to fight somebody. They want to fight even inside the flight. The way they will be pulling their handbag, the day they will be harassing people, the day they start fights at the airport. You'll be wondering, some will start making noise. You'll be wondering, are these not the same people you saw in Europe that are quiet? You understand me? They start at the airport, they begin to, man. Don't blame some people that said they don't want to go to Africa anymore.
It's shameful.
So shameful.
I'm laughing at the same time I'm crying. It's very shameful. This thing you are talking, I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
My brother, see, I was traveling from Sao Paulo, Brazil to Nigeria, but but that was the first and the last time I said I would never board South African airline till I will die. It was Christmas time. The first flight I moved from Sao Paulo to Dubai, it was very peaceful because it was Boeing and very long flight, big, and all were white. Maybe two or 3 black in the whole, over 800 people, but it was a very big flight. During Christmas, they always use very, very large ones. So do you know, on reaching Dubai, they had to change flight, God of heaven, to South Africa. I went to South Africa. It was still good. But now, from South Africa to Nigeria, oh Lord Jesus of Nazareth, that was the flight that I saw. Nothing on earth would make me land in South African airport to connect flights. My brother, the people started behaving like mad people inside the plane. They drank kai, they drank whatever they carried, they drank amarula, they carried bottle, they drink, they were making noise, they talk. I got weary. I was sick. I was sick inside the flight. By the time I landed, I felt sick. They landed drunk.
Yeah.
Some of them landed very, very drunk already. They will call for, because we're giving free drinks, they will call for this drink, they will drink, they call for another one, they will make noise calling for more drink. If we don't give them, they will bring out the one they bought from their free zone to drink. They came down drunk, very drunk, and they were already fighting from the inside the airline, quarreling. Yeah?
Because here, if you misbehave,
honestly, I was ashamed.
Here, if you
I was ashamed.
Here,
every other place was very quiet and fine and calm. All the journey was cool. I wasn't having headache. The moment I mean, even I was ashamed again. This discrimination thing you talk about, I saw it firsthand in South African airport. They gave us the money I paid would allow me to eat in the restaurant. They took us to the airport hotel, and because I slept over at the airport hotel to move the following day. The place we ate, you see.
My sister Stella, good to have you here. How are you doing, Stella? Good to have you.
I saw obvious discrimination. Black sat one corner. They were eating. White the other side. Come on, in your own country again. I'm
doing good.
You see? So these things, you talk about discrimination, it's already in Africa too. In racial discrimination, what do you call it? Tribalism, hatred for each other, not mixing with each other. White doesn't want to mix with black. It starts from home.
My sister Stella is in the building. She's asking, when are we going home? My sister Stella, you just joined us now. When are we going home? So that's what we've been discussing for over 2 hours.
Personally, I like going home because I feel at home. I love my home. I love my country. I love my home. And I will always, no matter where I go, I will go home. That is the truth. But it is my own decision. What I decide for myself is not what every other person will decide for themselves. But again, like what that man said, if you are married to a wife, go and legalize your marriage so that in case anything happens to you overseas, your wife will benefit and your children will have benefit. The same thing is also applicable to the men. If you have a wife that is living overseas and you refuse to join the woman and you are living in Africa, find a way to legalize your papers. In case anything happened to her, you can at least have a benefit or even claim your children. Because even if you are a husband and you are living in Africa and your wife is living overseas, you are doing your own self. You are doing your own self. What will befall you if one of those partners die? You'll be ashamed.
That's what I said. It's like you started watching me immediately I came live, you know. There are so many things to touch. I touched that area too. You understand me? When you lose your partner at old age, what happens? Especially if you're in Africa and so many other things like that. My sister Stella, do you want to come up? Tony, do you still want to come up and speak? If you want, you make a request, I'll bring you up. Tony, do you still want to come up? And does anybody still want to come up? Because I want to end the broadcast now. So many people are watching on YouTube. So tomorrow somebody made a request. We are not ending the broadcast now, so stay tuned. Don't go. Tony wants to say his mind.
No, Mr. Rudy,
I hear you.
Just wanted, that guy, maybe he misunderstood by saying, but from what we were discussing, maybe he thought that we are trying to convince people to live in Europe, to stay in Europe and die in Europe. That Mr. Big Sam, I just want to tell him, if he is still listening, no matter how much you love this place, after retirement, conditions will force you to go back home.
That's the truth.
This is what we have been talking yesterday. I mean, if you can only live in a place comfortably, if you can afford it. If you are earning now 5,000 euros and you go retirement with your 1,200 euro, how can you live again in Europe? Then you must go back home. And anybody thinking that one fine day condition will force me to go back home, it means you are also planning. Inside you, you'd say it to somebody, you don't say it to somebody. Inside you, you are planning of your going back home after retirement. Yes, that is what I just wanted to make it clear. And for this sister, Lizanne, she is talking about trying to contribute to country and investing and so. First of all, you need a lot of money in the kind of investment that she is talking about. You have to work out this money first. And to invest in Africa, we all know, we don't have to even sit down here and teach each other how Africa is. It's all over corrupt.
Tony, please, Tony, there is a brother here, I don't know if he's still watching, Ishmael Gallo from Gambia. Ishmael Gallo also invested in Africa, built a house in Africa. Ishmael Gallo one time said in Gambia, the house he built, they surrounded it with juju. How do you fight these kind of issues?
Oh, maybe, we are in a very open platform that there are so many things, my brother. If I am sitting with you in a cafe, in a restaurant, you and me, oh, I will make you cry from the things that I will just tell you about our own people. But
no, my brother, you see, these are the areas, these are the things, these things about our own people. You understand me? This is, why we sometimes touch these areas? It's because we touch it for people to learn from it. Why we come online and touch some certain topics is for people to learn from it. Do you understand me? That's why there are some topics you touch because a lot of people are watching on YouTube and on TikTok for people to learn. You can't just go to Africa. I saw Ishmael join us here. Before he joined us, I cited the example with him. So before you go to Africa, you don't just go to Africa and I'm going to Africa. You may even, your family members may harm you. Do you understand me? You may be, yes, Europe is boring. And a lot of things we discuss. But you may go to Africa, somebody from your village, from your distance, see you shining. So you've spent many years in abroad. Somebody from your family may harm you. Do you understand me? These things we need to also put into consideration. I'm not scared, but this things happens.
Mr. Rudy, sorry, my brother. With the respect that I have for you, so much that I acknowledge you, there are certain things here. I cannot just say them here because I might affect people who are even planning to go tomorrow to Africa. We are all from Africa. Nobody is telling you here or will tell you here that he doesn't know what is going on in Africa.
It's true. That is the fact.
But the thing is, I am not here, I am here to encourage people to make a better life. I am here to share my experience, my knowledge, and whatever it is with the people. Because, like you said, I'm an old school. I've been 32 years in Europe. I came here when I was 20.
Okay, now, Tony, you see, there is something. I'm a realistic man. I'm real, You cannot send somebody to a mission without telling the person, you know, the advantages or the disadvantages of what is involved. Like, hello, are you listening to me?
Yes, yes.
Now, for instance, I cannot be. I encourage people going like you started following this page yesterday. I always tell people, invest in Africa, but you need to tell them what to expect. Like I encourage people to build a house, for instance. I cannot tell people go to Africa and build a house. Africa is fine because you meet many challenges building a house. You have the Medupew. Number one, they may dupe you. If you go to buy land, they may sell one plot of land to two people. I need to tell you that things like this happen. Again, I need to tell you that your contractor, that your building contractor may be dubious. I need to tell you that your family members may cheat you. I need to tell you, beware of criminals. Now, I cannot come online because I am an influencer. I'm a content creator. I cannot come online and tell you, go to Africa and build house without telling you what awaits you, what you may meet. Do you understand me?
Yes. Mr. Rudy, if I buy a plot of land in Africa, it doesn't matter how much money, and I come back home and I found out later that they sold it to another person, that is the smallest problem we have in Africa. I will let it be. But you know what is the problem?
How can you, please, how can you let, what if it is, Tony, what if it is your last card, your last money? You are aged, you have no money, they take your last money from you. How can you cope? Where do you live? How do you function?
This thing you are talking about, I've experienced it personally. Okay? I bought 2 plots of land even 8 years before I got married. With my name as my family name, my name as a single lady, very young age, I got that money. I bought the land. So many years later, I went to build on that land. As I went back home, I made them to clear the land, to try to do the C of O and everything. As I brought the architect to that place and all the people that were to work on the land, and the surveyor, confusion started. Meanwhile, I had already poured 20 trips already, and already of sand and gravel, and I already dropped 100 bags of cement to start immediately because I wanted it to be done very fast. A lot of complications started. Do you know what? I ended up leaving that land with everything that I bought, everything, all those things that I bought to build, I abandoned it. I'm not talking about many years back. I'm talking about something that happened 2018. Okay?
Miss, yeah.
So,
Mr. Rudy,
barely 6 years has passed, yes. So
I know some people, sorry, they have turned their back completely from Africa. You know why? Not intentionally. Today, I can tell you,
experiences, yes.
the best and quickest way to make money is to be a marabout in Africa. Everybody is running to the marabout. For what? Not to make your life better, but just to destroy each other. My last warning I have for brothers is, just go down to earth. Don't show off yourself. And me, I will never in my life even think of investing. Because if you invest, you advertise yourself. It's like you put meat in the market. You cannot survive it. Sorry. We are all Africans, but that is the reality. That's the hard fact. You cannot survive it, my brother.
So what I'm saying
needs to be clean.
What I'm saying is, you know, somebody that if I come online I discuss about, I mean, I look at both sides of the story.
The positive and the negative part of
Yes,
it.
I don't come here and encourage people to go to Africa without telling them what they may meet on the way. Yes, I talk about the pros and cons. I talk about the advantages and the I tell them my experiences, what I experienced, even among family members, among friends, the last one that happened, a contractor, something that I wanted to, put light. In the estate, they said that light costed like 50 euros, for instance. I asked the contractor, please go and do this and get this for me. He said it cost 200 euros. Now, unfortunately, I did not send the money to him. He told me it was 200 euros. And they have a way they do all these things. When I went to Africa, I went direct to the people. They said it cost 50 euros. You see, he wanted to cheat me of 150 euros. For instance, these kind of experiences are what I share with my people here online. I don't tell them, go to Africa and do it. It's okay. I don't do like that. I tell you what awaits you, what you may meet, so that you decide, you know what, when you calculate it very well, you know if you want to go for it or not. I know people who have decided never to touch Africa, step their foot on Africa anymore because of disappointments. Some, when you talk about Africa, they tell you they don't want to hear it because of what they experienced. So if I should come online, if I cannot come online and be telling you Africa is paradise, I talk about racism here on this page. You see me make videos, I speak, you that is living here, I tell you this is what you expect. This is our life here in Europe. Do you understand me? People see it, people see my videos and say, look at what happens. And people confirm it is true. I cannot come here and be saying, hey, Africa is good, go to Africa, and when they get there and get burnt.
Yes.
Do you understand me? So I cannot do it. So I tell you the disadvantages. Look at what you may get if you go to Africa. Expect this. Be careful how you move. That is what's being... That's why I'm here.
An African, my advice is never invest in Africa in something that you have no idea about. If you don't have an idea, if you don't have a knowledge in what you want to invest, don't invest in it. If you want to build a house and you don't know what it costs all to build a house, my brother, you will spend 60,000 euro, they will build a house 10,000 euro for you.
These are the things these are the things I tell them every day. This is why we are here. If something that will cost you 10,000 euro, you may spend 100,000 euro. And these are the things, this is the awareness we are creating. You expect something like this. And I encourage people, I tell people, don't stay in Europe and be building house in Africa. Go there by yourself. Because if you stay here, they will finish your money. They'll mess you up.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Especially me, I am specialized in building. I have here many friends who built houses in Gambia and all over. And a house, if you really know what is building, what is construction, the problem is in Africa, most of these, I don't know other parts of Africa. Let me talk of my country. Most of these people under construction, their education was never far. They just drop from primary school or secondary school and just grab the construction as an opportunity of earning, of getting money to survive. But if you know construction, nobody should be able to fool you because every house have its measurements. Everything is calculated. But as far as they know that you don't know about building, that you don't know about house, they will tell you even when you need 50 bags of cement, they will tell you 100.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we went through. This, the awareness we're
Yes.
creating. Let me come in now. You know, some people who are supposed to, the money you are supposed to use and build a duplex, they will use it and build a boys' quarter for you, 2 rooms. The
Yes.
money they will, that is more, if the money you are supposed to use to build a duplex, you end up using the same money to build boys' quarter.
Exactly.
That's what
And
they
do you
do.
know what? You know these iron rods, you know, that they use for building, for construction. These iron rods, they call them, yeah?
I know rods now, iron rods now for building. I know rods
Yeah.
now. Everybody knows it.
Exactly. I have many friends here. They always tell me, you know, my worker said, to construct my roof, to concrete and everything, I need 250 iron rods. And then I said, yeah? He said, yes. I said, okay, just give me the size of your building. And you know, iron rods are in meters. In Gambia, we sell iron rods. They are 11 meters long. And if you know the division of the iron rods that you need to build a concrete floor up, you know, you can make this measurement, you can make this calculation very easy. I calculated it, and then I came up to 125. And then the guy told my friend, it is not possible. You cannot need 125 to build such a thing. I said, hey, this is my job. Iron rods are in meters, 11 meters long. And you give me this size of the building. You cannot buy more than 125. You know? And then at the end of the day, maybe Mr. Rudy, I will contact you somewhere. You can look in my Facebook. I do construction. I go home every year, 6 months. I help out people here. I go to Gambia to work every year, 6 months. You know, don't just invest in something you don't know. Even if you buy taxis and you don't know about auto mechanic, my brother, you will end up failing. Because your car will have a problem. You go there, they will tell you this is the problem. You solve that problem, they will come and tell you this is the other problem. So don't invest in Africa in something you don't have an idea. And do you know what I have found also that is very, 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 that is not really nice about us? African people, when we employ somebody and he sees that and he feels that you are really relying on him 100%.
Somebody's asking you a question. One of my listeners is asking, because you said you are a construction. My sister is asking you, do you go to, she said the country, do you go there? So if you go to there, you can talk with her. Miss Mendes, you said you are a construction worker, so she asked a question. Now you see her. This is what we hear. Cape Verde. He said, can you go to Cape Verde?
No, I cannot move to Cape Verde because first of all, I have all my things in Gambia, and normally I don't even work for the people in Gambia. I work for the people here in Switzerland. When I'm going, I'm booked already to work for the people who are living here with me. I work for them. And they are happy that I work for them because, my brother, I cannot tell you everything. I have seen guys who build houses. They told me 70,000 Swiss francs. When I value those houses, they are not even 15,000.
That's what we're talking about here now. Yes, they make life difficult for people. You understand me? This is what we're talking about. Something, well, we keep creating awareness and people will keep learning. So guys, I want to end the broadcast. I've spent over 4 hours here.
Okay, anyhow, I just advise people, when you invest, think about it. Don't just think, yeah, sending container, I will make money, and you send container. My brother, you will end up regretting. Don't think I need taxi, I buy. You will end up regretting. Invest in something you have knowledge.
Miss Mendes, please, next time, don't write like this openly because of fraudsters. Don't allow people to come and tell you they are building construction workers, so that they don't do it. Be careful, okay?
No, what I want to tell her is, you know, I don't want to make empty promises, but she can follow me on my page, also on TikTok. Any advice that you need, I will give it to you for free of charge. yes, I can do this for you. But to tell you that I can go to Cape Verde or wherever it is, that is practically impossible. But please, anything that you need to know about construction, contact me. Because you cannot learn it better than here in Switzerland. I did this. This is my job for 28 years. I know in and out.
After you add me, please.
Yes, no problem. Anybody who needs advice, just consult me. I will give you a perfect advice. I don't need €1 from you.
What you need to do is, Miss Mendes and Lizio, you follow him on TikTok. He's Tony. You follow him on TikTok so you can communicate. But before you do anything, you make sure you don't give anybody money. Don't part with money. Do you understand what I mean?
Nobody fool you. Construction is all about calculation. They cannot fool you if you know what you are doing and you can calculate your things properly. It's all about that. You know? But if you give your money to a sister or to your mother who doesn't know about construction, they might be telling him, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy that, and after they go and resell it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because they don't need it. So any advice from anybody, I am really open. You can contact me. I will give you the advice that I know. Because under this field, I am very, very much so. I know what I am doing in this field. Thank you very much, Mr. Roddy.
Okay, you're welcome. So guys, with this I want to...
Thank you also for letting me speak. I appreciate the time I spent on the platform.
You're welcome, my sister.
Have a wonderful evening, sorry. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Everybody.
You're welcome. That's it. That's why we are here. We create awareness, you know. So guys, I want to... I've been sitting for long, you know. So I want to... Tomorrow is another day we come out where I'm going to go live again, and then we continue with our discussions, our conversations, and we make it, I mean, we talk to people respectfully, don't insult anybody, don't come here to bully anybody. So we are here to learn, and that's it. You see, most of the people that are here are adults. That's it. We don't come here to this is not kindergarten. My sister, Stella, I thought you wanted to make a request and come up and educate us. Blessing to you and your family too. So I thought you wanted to come up, my sister Stella, with me. So now I want to say good night to everybody. Well, tomorrow is another day. Okay, good night to you, Liziano. Stella, just joking. I know you may not like to. I know you may not like to come up. Just joking. So guys, I want to say good night. Take care of yourselves. And if you are not following this page, follow this page. Tomorrow, I'm going to go live like 2 times tomorrow. So many topics coming up. So take care of those on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, and be careful. Make sure nobody takes your money. Nobody dupes you. And protect yourselves. So that's what I've got to say. Well, thank you guys, and have a lovely evening.